FC Barcelona is not just a football team with famous shirts, trophies, and superstar players. It is one of the rare clubs whose identity became larger than the sport itself. Based in Barcelona, Catalonia, the club competes in La Liga, Spain's top division, but its influence reaches far beyond domestic football. To millions of supporters, Barça represents style, pride, resistance, community ownership, and cultural identity. That is why its famous motto, Més que un club, meaning more than a club, is not simply branding. It reflects a long history in which football, politics, language, regional pride, and global entertainment all became connected. To understand FC Barcelona, you have to look at both sides of the story, the club that wins matches, and the institution that carries meaning for people who see it as part of who they are. The story begins in 1899, when Joan Gamper, a Swiss football enthusiast, helped create the club alongside Swiss, Catalan, German, and English players. At the time, football was still developing in Spain, and Barcelona was becoming a modern, restless city with a strong local identity. The club's international founding group mattered because Barça was never purely one thing. From the beginning, it combined outside influence with Catalan roots. Gamper did not simply start a team, he helped plant a sporting institution in a city that was hungry for symbols of modernity and self-expression. Over time, the club became woven into local life. Its colors, blue and garnet, gave rise to the nickname Blaugrana, and the team gradually became a shared reference point for generations of supporters in Barcelona and beyond. One of the most important things that makes FC Barcelona different is its ownership model. Unlike many modern football clubs owned by billionaires, corporations, or investment groups, Barcelona is owned and operated by its supporters, known as members or socios. These members vote in club elections and help decide who leads the institution. This structure gives Barça a democratic image and reinforces the idea that the club belongs to its community. But it also creates pressure. When a club is owned by its supporters, sporting failure, financial decisions, and leadership mistakes are not distant business problems. They become public emotional debates. Barcelona's identity is therefore both romantic and complicated. The club is a global business worth billions, yet it still presents itself as a member-owned institution rooted in local belonging. The phrase "more than a club" is deeply connected to Catalonia. Barcelona became a symbol of Catalan culture and Catalanism, especially during periods when Catalan identity faced political pressure. Football gave people a visible, emotional, and public way to express belonging. A stadium could become more than a place for entertainment, it could become a gathering space where identity survived in song, color, and ritual. The official anthem, the Cant del Barça, reflects this collective spirit. When supporters sing together, they are not only encouraging 11 players. They are participating in a tradition that links sport to language, place, and memory. This is why many fans interpret Barça's victories as something bigger than athletic success. For them, the club carries the emotional weight of a community. On the pitch, Barcelona became one of the most decorated clubs in world football. Domestically, the club has won a record number of Spanish trophies, including La Liga titles, Copa del Rey victories, Supercopa de España titles, and other historic competitions. Internationally, Barça has also built an elite resume with Champions League titles, UEFA Super Cups, FIFA Club World Cups, and other European honors. These trophies matter not only because they fill a museum. They prove that Barcelona's cultural story has been matched by sporting excellence. A club can be symbolic and beloved, but to remain globally powerful, it must win. Barça's reputation was built by repeatedly turning identity into achievement. And by producing teams that made success feel connected to a recognizable football philosophy. No explanation of Barcelona is complete without El Clásico, the rivalry with Real Madrid. On paper, it is a football match between two of Spain's biggest clubs. In reality, it is one of the most charged fixtures in world sport. Real Madrid and Barcelona represent different cities, different histories, and often different ideas of power and identity. El Clasico turns league tables into global events because millions of viewers understand that the game carries symbolic meaning. A win can feel like a statement, not just 3 points. This rivalry helped push both clubs to extraordinary levels. Each side measures itself against the other, and that pressure has produced unforgettable players, dramatic matches, and some of the most intense narratives in football history. Barcelona's greatness has often been linked to individual genius. The club's players have won a joint record number of Ballon d'Or awards, and its history includes names such as Johan Cruyff, Romario, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and Lionel Messi. These players did more than score goals. They changed how fans imagined football could look. Cruyff brought ideas about space, intelligence, and attacking structure that later shaped the entire club. Ronaldinho restored joy and flair at a crucial moment. Messi became the ultimate expression of Barcelona's footballing identity: small, technical, creative, efficient, and devastating. When a club attracts and develops players like these, it does not merely build teams. It builds eras, each with its own emotional signature. La Masia, Barcelona's youth academy, is central to the club's mythology. It represents the belief that football identity can be taught from childhood: control the ball, understand space, think quickly, play collectively, and value technique over size. The academy reached an extraordinary peak in 2010, when Lionel Messi, Andrés Iniesta, and Xavi finished as the top 3 players in the Ballon d'Or ranking. All 3 had come through Barcelona's youth system, making the achievement unprecedented. That moment was powerful because it seemed to prove that Barca's philosophy was not just theory. It could produce the best players in the world at the same time. La Masia became a symbol of continuity, showing how a club can turn values into training, and training into greatness. The peak of modern Barcelona came under Pep Guardiola. Between 2008 and 2012, his team won 14 trophies in 4 years and changed the way many people thought about football. The 2009 side became the first Spanish club to win the continental treble, La Liga, Copa del Rey, and UEFA Champions League. That same year, Barcelona won 6 competitions, becoming the first European club to complete such a sweep. Guardiola's team was not only successful, it was stylistically dominant. Its passing, pressing, movement, and patience made opponents chase shadows. The ball became a defensive tool, an attacking weapon, and a psychological statement. Many fans and analysts consider that Barcelona one of the greatest teams ever assembled because it combined beauty with ruthless efficiency. Barcelona's second continental treble came in 2015 under Luis Enrique, when the club won La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Champions League again. This made Barca the first European club to win the treble twice. The 2015 team was different from Guardiola's version. It still had technical quality and Barcelona DNA, but it was more direct, more explosive, and built around a devastating attacking trio. That success showed the club could evolve without completely abandoning its identity. Football changes, opponents adapt, and no style can remain untouched forever. The best clubs survive by balancing tradition with reinvention. Barcelona's 2015 triumph proved that the institution could still reach the summit even after its most iconic tactical era had ended. Barca's global popularity is another essential part of the story. The club has one of the largest supporter bases and social media followings in world sport. A team born in Catalonia became a worldwide brand followed across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. This global reach brings enormous revenue and influence, but it also creates tension. Local supporters want the club to remain faithful to its roots, while international fans often connect through stars, trophies, and entertainment. Barcelona must speak to both audiences at once. It must be Catalan enough to honor its origin, successful enough to satisfy its members, and global enough to compete financially with the richest clubs in football. That balancing act is one of the club's greatest challenges. The meaning of FC Barcelona comes from the combination of all these layers. It is a La Liga club that has never been relegated. It is a trophy-winning giant, a supporter-owned institution, a Catalan symbol, a home for some of football's greatest players, and a laboratory for influential ideas about how the game should be played. Its history includes moments of romance, dominance, pressure, and contradiction. That is why Barcelona remains fascinating even beyond its results. When Barca wins, it can feel like the confirmation of an idea. When it struggles, the crisis feels bigger than football because the club has taught the world to expect meaning as well as victory. FC Barcelona became powerful not simply by being successful, but by making success feel connected to identity. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.